Welcome back to Kicking It with Caitlin.
Welcome to the 4th episode of Kicking It with Caitlin. I did it again. I've recorded this once, and I'm recording it again because I didn't give what needed to be given, so I'm not going to say that I'm not going to do that again because then that would make me a liar. I'm just going to try not to do it again because I like to read off my notes verbatim, and that's not what this is, so I'm going to try not to do that. Anyways, I do just want to point out that my 3rd episode, the last episode, is now my most listened to episode on my podcast. So, woo! Hell yeah. Good job, everyone. Let's go, team. Thanks for listening. And another achievement that we have made, because this is our community. I'm just a spokesperson, I guess. That's what you can call me. We have hit 100 plays on Kicking It with Caitlin. Based off of the poll that I posted not last week. Here I am getting my weeks messed up. Based on the poll that I posted last episode, I asked you guys on Spotify. Excuse me, I burp. I think I'm gonna burp again. Hold on. Okay. I asked you guys what time frame you would like me to sit at for this podcast, and only like some of y'all answered. So what the hell is up with that? Why would you not answer? I want to hear what you have to say, but shout out to those of you that did. It seems like y'all want an hour. I cannot believe that y'all want to sit here and listen to me ramble on and talk for an hour. That shit is crazy. When I told my mom that, she looked at me and she was like, "You're a liar." But I think it's cool. So I was like kind of looking at it. Only one person said that they wanted like 45 minutes, which is also fine. I mean, that's only 15 minutes off, but I will try to do an hour and 30 because it has come apparent to me that you guys listen to me in the car. So since I am a small podcast, I'm assuming that everyone is a local basically. So y'all are all driving into Austin or San Antonio, and that's an hour commute. So I might as well just entertain you for the hour. I will be your energy drink. You don't need to pick up that coffee. You don't need to buy that Monster. You can just drink me up. Snap. I'm already out of breath, and that's not good because I'm not even past the introduction. So 2 quick life updates. I recently got all 4 of my wisdom teeth out, and oh my God, I'm still out of breath. Give me a second. Let me get some water. I just get so freaking excited to talk. And also, oh my gosh. So I am standing up doing this one to control my excitement because usually I sit down and then I move. But I'm trying not to move as much because, I don't know, I wanted to stand. And here I am standing. So what I was trying to say is that I got my 4 wisdom teeth out. And up until today, I have not been able to talk properly. So I've kind of been mute. Because every time I talked, my mouth hurt. So, yeah. I may sound a little funky or I may pronounce things weird. Why do I need to burp? I almost threw up. That was not good. Let's try to get this over with. Fuck. What was I going to say? God. Yes. My wisdom teeth. My wisdom teeth were out. So just bear with me. Bear with me here. I'm trying to give you what needs to be given because these were my options. No, these are the only options that I gave myself. They weren't my only options. I'm just lying. So my options that I gave myself were to record 5 minutes worth of gibberish while I was high AF on sedative, or you could get an hour, if I can make it that long today, of me just rambling on. so far, I'm looking at the time between my visuals of like the episode that I recorded before and the episode that I tried to record that time before. The introduction is long as fuck. But whatever. This is my podcast. I'm not procrastinating or anything because I don't want to talk about what I'm talking about because I'm ashamed of what I'm going to say. But anyways, yeah, so I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yes. I am in a new space right now, so it may sound a little different. I'm going to try my very absolute best to avoid sounding any different because I have a studio now. I am in the midst of creating my dream studio while also not creating my dream studio because I have no idea what it's going to look like. It's a work in progress. It's actually a struggle because I don't know what I want to do with it and I just have like this big space. But I will say this space will be designated to a set of a vodcast that I am learning to make right now. So that's in the future. Eventually, everyone will be able to see it, and then I will invite some of you guys on. Because if you're listening to me, I mean, you're cool. So I'll reach out to y'all, and y'all can come join me. End of the life updates, and let's go ahead and get on with the freaking episode. With fall being right around the corner, cuffing season is upon us. Yeah, I said it. I am probably the first person that you've heard say that it's cuffing season. I'm sorry I'm bringing it up early, but I'm bringing it up early for a purpose. I'm bringing this up early because I know that the girls are scouting out who they want to be, I know the girls are scouting out, who they want on their roster or who they want to dial it down onto. So I am going to point out my biggest red flags in a partner. I lied. Not just in a partner, in romantic relationships and in friends. So we're talking about red flags in people in general. Red flag number 1, people who flake. Now, are these red flags or are these red flags not a result in my recent endeavors? Possibly. But I'm not going to talk about that because that's not what we're here for. Period. Okay. So people who flake. Literally, this is so fucking stupid. I kind of talked about this the last time, but it is so disrespectful to flake. And I say that because nothing is worse than being excited to do something with someone and then they don't feel the same way. Like that's sad. That'd be making me sad. So we're not going to be sad. Anyways, I need to stop saying anyways. Oh, fuck. Actually, guys, oh my gosh. In my studio, sidetracked. In my studio, I'm putting up whiteboards, and my whiteboard is going to say words that I'm not allowed to say. And I'm not allowed to say, honestly, so, like, or anyways. And I always use them regardless. But we're going to start working on it. Right now, it has my agenda. Speaking of that, it fell down on me earlier and bruised my freaking hand. Can you believe that? The studio is already revolting, and I haven't even done anything to it yet. Back to the story. Do not put up with people who are going to flake. As soon as someone flakes on you, they're out. Kick them off the roster. Kick them to the curb. Block, delete, ignore, whatever. Do whatever you have to do, but please do not end up settling for someone who flakes. Because why would you want to see someone who doesn't prioritize you? Because it's going to be another one too. Damn it. I'm going to write synonyms to these words that I'm not allowed to use. Okay, stop being scatterbrained. We are going to get straight to the point. I'm so sorry. I don't know where this burst of energy has come from because it's definitely 9 o'clock on Wednesday and I post at 8 a.m. So I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, just not saying the shit that I need to say and getting on with it. People who flake, don't put up with them. I don't want to see y'all being hurt about giving someone a second chance when you knew that they're going to flake on you anyway. So let's just try to avoid that and eliminate those people right off the bat. That is red flag number 1. Number 2, we are not putting up with people who cannot communicate. Listen, Everyone has the same 24 hours in the day. It just depends on how you spend them. I repeat, everyone has the same 24 hours in the day. It just depends on how you spend them. I got 24, you got 24, they got 24, she's got 24. Everybody's got 24 hours. With that being said, I'm not enabling you guys to be freaking psycho. So they don't need to be texting you back like bam, 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 bam. I get that. People have their life. But there is nothing wrong with telling someone that you're busy. What is wrong is leaving someone undelivered for 10 hours at a time. I don't understand that. I understand that we're in the texting world and you don't like give proper goodbyes or see you later. Like that's like lame apparently. But we should start that. I should start a petition to start greeting. What is it called whenever you tell people bye? I'm going to call it goodbye. You should be greeting and goodbying people at the end of a conversation. I myself am guilty of it. I just leave people on read when I have nothing else to say. But being left undelivered is a whole other, no. I'd rather be left on read than be left undelivered. I really struggle with this one myself with a lack of communication because my mom used to tell me like, Caitlin, no response is a response. And I just like wouldn't understand, like I couldn't understand that. Like why would they not want to respond to me? But like she's right. No response is a response. But I just want to emphasize the lack of communication is just a no. Do not put up with that. There is nothing more aggravating than waiting on a reply. And what makes it worse is that like, I don't know about you guys, but me, if I'm talking to somebody or if I'm even thinking about, I don't know, going on a date with somebody, I'm following them on multiple platforms. And more often than not, I am texting them on Snapchat or texting them on iMessage, and then I follow them on Instagram. And I have it enabled to the point where I can see when other people are active on Instagram. So if I text Emily at 10 o'clock in the morning and she is on freaking Instagram at 12 and she don't answer me until 2, damn right I'm freaking livid. I saw that shit with my own eyes. You decided not to answer me. Not saying that she does that. I'm just giving it as an example. I'll call her ass. I will blow up her phone. But I'm speaking in the fact of like other people. I don't know why. But I'm speaking in the fact of like the lack of communication is just not something that we should be putting up with, especially in a time of technology. Like it's really not that hard to tell someone that you're busy. Red flag number 3, they don't make you feel special. There is no reason that you should be surrounding yourself with people who don't make you feel special. And again, I'm speaking in regards in the sense of like friendships and romantic relationships. You should feel special whenever you're around people that you like. There is no reason to be spending your free time with people like that. Like they should not make you feel any less of a person. And I also want to open your eyes to the point that everyone at some point will sit back, assess their situation, and they'll either feel great about it, like they're on the top of the world, or they feel uncomfortable and they feel belittled. Most oftentimes than not, it's like you feel belittled because that's typically when you step back and realize where you're at. And that is when you should remove yourself. But most oftentimes than not, you're just like overlooking it and you think it can get better. But I'm coming to tell you here right now that if they don't make you feel special, they're out. They're gone. Removed. Delete. Bye. Now, I am fully aware that everything that I said is easier said than done, but I'm just reminding you. Because like I said, I myself have been caught with overlooking the red flags just like 3 days ago. But I am giving myself like a little slap on the wrist because I was on pain meds. So that is my excuse. The rest of y'all, no. I stood the fuck up. Like those are red flags that we are not standing for. Again, just before I stop talking about this. Number 1, we're not putting up with people who flake. Number 2, people who lack communication. Number 3, people who don't make you feel special. I am not going to argue with y'all about this. Like, we need to put ourselves on a pedestal, on a higher standard to make these people act freaking right. Because if they want you in their life, they better act right. They better be an addition, not a subtraction. Period. Now I'm upset. But I did just want to point these out because cuffing season is here. And I don't want y'all to waste your time. So I'm here as your fairy godmother. I'm your reminder. Don't put up with shit that you don't need to put up with. So, you have realized everyone that you usually put up with has all three of those red flags. No surprise. So now I'm moving on to a romantic standpoint. I am going to tell you how to survive cuffing season single. What are my credentials? Well, I have been the single friend for 4 years and I'm freaking thriving. Yeah. So help me help you. But first, we are going to address your mentality. If you want to execute this plan of successfully staying single during cuffing season, you cannot be jealous of the people who are in a relationship during cuffing season because it's not their fault that you're upset. It's not their fault that you're single. It's no one's fault. We're not going to be mad at anything, okay? We're not going to be mad at the world because we're single. We're not going to be mad at Johnny because he didn't freaking ask you out, or he played games, or he had all three red flags I just pointed out and you realize that he's just not worth it. And we're not going to be mad at ourselves because we're single. We are going to look at it as a glass half full kind of person, and we're going to do the best with what we've got. This is just a reminder, the holiday season is for everyone, not just the people who are booed up. It is also for single people as well. So after we have fixed our mentality, we are going to have a plan and we are going to stick to that plan. Again, I am pointing this out early because in order to have a successful cuffing season, we got a plan. After we have fixed our mentality about the whole idea of being single during cuffing season, we're going to make ourselves a freaking plan. We are going to stay festive all 5 months worth of cuffing season. So let me just help you get the ball rolling. In September, we are going to start DIYing Halloween decor or holiday. If you're ready for Christmas already, we're going to start getting them Christmas decorations ready. We're also going to plan our Halloween costume because this is another thing that I'm going to bring up. We are not going out to the bar this year with ugly last-minute DIY Halloween costumes. That is so much unneeded stress that we are putting on ourselves because you have to look hot, A, and then B, you have to dress up with what's in your closet. Yeah, no. If we're single, we're focused on ourselves, so we have time to plan. And if we don't have time to plan, we're making time to plan while we're listening to this podcast, okay? I'm just drawing your attention to the important things right now. Another idea is that we are going to pick out dates for stuff like the fair, the pumpkin patch, a corn maze, Friendsgiving, stuff like that. Because if we're planning our 5 months out already, we're going to be too busy to have seasonal depression. So plan out every day. And if you decided that you can't plan out every day, you can at least plan out people's Christmas list or your Christmas list for presents for people. Stand up. We are all adults. Everyone who gave you a present in the past, it is now your turn to give them back. I myself was found guilty of this last year. On the 24th, will be at the ripe age of 22. It's now time for me to give back presents that were given to me. So we need to start making Christmas lists because Christmas is freaking expensive. It's actually a better idea not to have a little boyfriend or girlfriend because your ass needs to get to work. This shit is expensive. After we have planned our days to the second of how we're going to spend it, we are going to embrace our solitude. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I don't ever stick to the plans that I make. I have good ambition that I think that I'm going to complete the plans. But sometimes, the seasonal depression gets to me. but I only let it get to me for a day. And then we are back on our feet. We are going to embrace our solitude. The way that I do that is bettering myself. Things that I will do to better myself is to watch how-to videos on YouTube. And yes, I know that sounds very dad of me, but YouTube is free and people on YouTube are freaking smart. Like, they already went out of their way to edit a video, and then they went out of their way to make a script for the video, and then they did their research. Like, there's people out there. Not everyone's doing, what is it called? A haul video. Like, some people are educators naturally. So I go on YouTube and I will better my skills. Another way that I will embrace my solitude is going out by myself. So I won't invite anyone. I will take time in the day to get myself ready, go shopping by myself, and try out a new place to eat by myself in public. The only way to embrace your solitude is to actually stay by yourself. So you need to come to be okay with being by yourself. And the only way to do that is to practice being by oneself. And if those things don't work for you like they do for me, I love reading romance novels. That is also part of the reason how I am okay with being single, because I'm still getting my fix of romance. It's just through books. And if you pick up a romance book, you will realize that fictional people are 1,000 times greater than real people. They're nicer, they're smarter, funnier, hotter. They're just everything that you need. Again, plugging A Court of Thorns and Roses. Y'all could spend all your cuffing season reading that actually, so might as well just pick that up. And if you are still having trouble with being by yourself, the way that I have gotten here was that I read a book at like my lowest low called You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. I hope I'm saying her name right. It just said everything that I needed to hear at the time that I needed to hear it. Like, it's stuff that was obvious that I should have known about myself already, but it helps to read it and then do it. So I recommend that book. I haven't read it in a long time, but if you don't like it, I'm sorry. It just really helped me, so I might as well just throw that out there. My last idea to embrace your solitude is to pursue a hobby that you have been putting off. And by that, I mean create what you want to create and post it. I'm not stupid. I know that most of you are listening to this because I am a local and you want to see how this goes for me, and clearly it's going fine. So I'm sure that most of y'all want to create media, whether it's a podcast, a YouTube video, TikTok, you want to be more active on Instagram. It's really not that hard and it's really not that scary. You just have to do it. So I highly encourage you to use cuffing season as time to make yourself better. Do things that you've held back on to make you the best you that you have ever been. Okay, I am honestly done talking about relationships and whatnot. I know I chose the topics, but I'm good. I've had my fix. We have had our fix. Next, clearly I have not chosen a common path to walk down. And by that, I mean I'm pursuing a career in media. So after coming forward and gaining the courage and the strength to post my media out there for the public, I have gotten approached by a couple people asking me like how I got the balls to do it and where I started at. So I am going to explain that right here, right now. So like most people, I did what my parents wanted me to do in the beginning. I always struggled with deciding on what job I wanted or what career I wanted to pursue. All I knew is two things. I needed to make income and I wanted to make my parents proud. Those were the only two things that were really important to me because I felt like I was just like a basic child. Like I played sports, I went home, I went to sleep, I went to school, repeat. That's it. Like you're young. You don't have that much of a personality. You're young. So my freshman year of high school, I decided to go into computer programming. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. The only thing that there was two things I didn't like about it. There's only two. The first one being that I didn't like that the teacher treated me differently because I was the only girl in the class. So I didn't feel like I was being babied. I felt like I stood out already, and then he further made me stand out. So I didn't like that. It kind of made me feel really weird. Not unmotivated, but just kind of weird. And I guess it kind of made everyone see me as a threat. I wasn't bad, but I also wasn't good. But like, he was putting me on a pedestal that I didn't need to be on. So that just was uncomfortable. And then also, I didn't really like it. I mean, yes, I made video games, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I didn't want to do that. So one day I was outside. My high school had like a huge outside area. And there was an elective building, and then there was like the academic building. And my computer programming class took place in the elective building. And I guess I don't even know why I was outside. I was outside and I was walking towards the academic building. Lord knows for what. I don't even know. I probably said when I got back that the restroom in that building was messed up, so I had to go the other way around. And that's what took me so long. I don't know. I always bullshitted with that guy. He just kind of made me feel uncomfortable. But as I was walking outside, there were these people running with a gurney, and there was this guy chasing them with this big ass camera. That is one sight to see as a freshman in high school, when you're the only person outside and there's these weird random people filming like a fake murder scene. I was like, okay, what's going on? So I watched them do that take like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times. And I would like to think that when I was younger, I was an introverted extrovert. So I didn't say anything. And I basically just stood there watching them. Creepy, I know. But I finally mustered up the courage and asked them what they were doing. And they're like, oh, we're in VP1. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And that was it. Little did I know that one interaction that was probably like 5 minutes changed my whole entire life. In my sophomore year, I decided that I didn't want to do computer programming. It just wasn't for me. So I went ahead and signed up for that VP1 class that guy had talked about. And I found myself in Mr. Davis's Video Production 1 class. Now, a lot of people definitely do not like him, but I like him for all the reasons. Well, I don't just like him. He was my favorite teacher for all the reasons that people hated him for. He was blunt, he was loud, he didn't waste time, and he was confident. With that being said, we had our own disagreements and arguments that would get pretty heated, I would say, as heated as like a 16-year-old argument with a grown man can be. But he paved my path for me, essentially. So I am very thankful to him for that. By the end of my high school career, I had taken video production 1, 2, and 3, which I learned the ins and outs of Premiere Pro. I got Adobe certified. I learned how to write a script, how to write a shot sheet, how to edit, which is Premiere Pro. I'm just going off dome. I learned how to use microphones, cameras. I learned how to light. I knew how to do After Effects. Like, there was just a whole like slew of things that I learned how to do within that small time period. Like, I learned how to do all those things in 3 years, which, I mean, might not seem like that great for most people, but I was still a kid. Like, I wasn't an adult. I didn't understand things the way that I do now. Like, it probably would only take me a little while, but I loved what I was doing. Like, I fully enjoyed where I was and what I was doing. In my time in Video Production 3, that was like the final boss. Like, there was no Video Production 4. If there was, he was going to have to make one up for me. But since I lost that year, freshman year, doing computer programming, I only got as far as Video Production 3. And in that class, you have to find an internship. And Mr. Davis helped me find an internship at the city of Kyle. And basically, I edit their Facebook videos. Yeah, it definitely wasn't a great use of my skills, but I had the fact that I was an intern at the city of Kyle under my belt. To be fair, it was like a weird time because the head of the communications department that I was interning for, she left, and then another lady came in, and also like I had to learn how to use Final Cut Pro when I had been like brought up to use Premiere Pro because that's the best, but the city had Final Cut Pro. So that was a learning curve in itself, and then I had a whole new like boss, so it was meh. I don't really feel like I gained anything from there because, like I said, I was editing their Facebook videos and they already had a template that they wanted me to stick to. So there was no way that I could have been creative because it was already set in stone of what I had to do. It was very much of like, okay, here's the clips that we recorded. Turn up the audio. Make sure the color looks right. Put a transition here and cut these to make them look like they're the same. And that's it. Literally, it took me 5 minutes. I can't say much for the other guy who was in Video Production 3. We didn't work together, but I did have to clean up all the mess that he made with his editing. I don't know what he was doing. And I really don't feel bad about saying that because I had to deal with a lot of shit that he should have done. So I was stronger on the editing side. Anyways, that's not the point of the story. Like I was saying, I didn't really gain anything except for the fact that I could leave high school early, which was actually really cool. Like I would leave 2 class periods early, and I remember I would leave in the middle of like the passing period, and I would like strut all the way across the front of the campus, so everyone who was going into the academic building had to watch me. And I remember people being like, why does she get to leave early? Why do they get to open the gates for her? And I'm like, because I'm good at what I do. So I had to go work a big girl job while I was at school. Yeah, but like I was saying, I didn't really gain much aside from leaving school early, and then I learned how to use Final Cut Pro, but I don't use that now, nor do any of the people who I work for use it, so it's not really something that I put on my resume because it's kind of like iMovie in a sense. I don't know. And that's just my opinion. I could totally change it. Maybe Final Cut Pro is like the underdog. I don't know, but I'm a Premiere Pro girl. I'm a Premiere girl through and throughout. So while I was at my internship, COVID hit. I was in the graduating class of 2020 that COVID freaking ruined everything. And by everything, I mean everything. I got accepted to go to Texas State for their program. I don't even know what it is. Honestly, Texas State needs to get it together because that would be a great freaking place for me to go, but they don't offer any degree plans that would look good for what I want to do. And it had been that way, almost 4 years ago, and it's still that way. They're just now helping change that up, but that's a story for another day. So I was going to go to Texas State in the fall, but then COVID hit, and it was kind of weird. I felt like all my plans have gotten ruined. I'm a first-gen college student. My parents don't know shit about college. Like, I had no guidance. Like, yes, you can go ask people at the college that you're going to for help, but they can't hold your hand through it. And I felt like I had been doing too much by myself. It was overwhelming. So I just gave up. I decided not to go to college after I graduated on that first semester. So here I was again, not knowing what to do with my life, and I threw myself into work. At work, I got invited to work at a pharmacy that I actually still work at right now. And those people surrounded me with such positive attitudes, and it was just a good environment, and they helped me decide that I wanted to go back to school again. There is 2 changes in that plan though. The first one being that I was not going to Texas State. Instead, I would go to Austin Community College. And the second one would be that I was studying to be a pharmacist, so I was studying health science. I studied health sciences for 2 semesters, and that shit kicked my ass. It was the worst move that I could have made because I was doing it for money. I am going to sound like a horrible person saying this, but I don't care about saving people. I don't care about biology. I don't care about any of that stuff. Like, I'm just worried about myself, and that's it. Like, whatever. At least I can come forth and say that. Like, what are you going to do? It just wasn't my thing. So I took another semester off. After taking that semester off, I did a lot of thinking, and I decided to go back to my roots. Fall of 2021, I was back at ACC taking a full load of radio, television, film classes. Things were going freaking amazing. I was taking 5 classes at a time. I was going really fast, and I was 12 credits away from graduating with an Associates of Arts in the radio, television, film. I believe that's what it's called. And then I started having doubts. I don't know what came over me, but I'm glad that it did. I guess it was like whenever we were introducing ourselves in all these radio, television, film classes, like, what's your name? What do you want to be? What's your favorite movie? And stuff like that, like, I have always struggled with. Like, I have never had a favorite movie or a favorite TV show because of cinematic reasons. And that's when I realized that I don't want to be a movie maker. And I don't want to be a movie maker because I think I suck at telling stories. That's just not what I wanted to do. So here is me 12 credits away from graduating with the whole degree, having doubts. At this point, I had decided that we are not taking another semester off because I felt like I was just wasting my time taking time off. So I chose to go with the flow of things, and I am so glad that I did. While taking one of my final classes in the RTF degree, which I still haven't finished, but I'm going to finish it, I took Video Production 1. Yes, I took 3 years worth of video production in high school, but those don't transfer, so I had to take a lot of beginner classes again. So I'm in Video Production 1, but now we are studying live broadcasting, and this changed my whole life. Here I am again, already having now 2 life-changing things happening to me. I probably sound like I throw those around, but literally, like, this, I was running, and me being in video production completely pivoted my whole plan, and now I am on the road to where I am right now. So what the hell happened in Video Production 1? Well, I got introduced to something called a technical director. You'll find that the further you get in an industry, there are more specific jobs because the jobs become more advanced, and more advanced things require specific things to be done. So a lot of people enter this realm wanting to be a video editor, a director, or a producer, but hardly anyone ends up being any of those big 3 because there's so many more important jobs that people don't realize exist. So me finally deciding what I wanted to be, a technical director. What the hell is that? In my experience, a technical director is the person who runs the switcher or the board on a live production. Now, does Google say that that is what a technical director is? No. Nobody says that's what, well, some people say that's what a technical director is. There's like no good definition of what a TD is. So it's whatever you want it to be. That's just what I know it as. That's what the people at ACC know it as. That's what the people at ACL Live know it as. Like, I don't know where all this bullshit came of talking about a technical director does all technical aspects of the production. Audio does audio. The people who are on camera set up their cameras. Like, it's just like, there is not enough explanation and definition in media production. So that's why everything is so vague. And it's no one's fault except for ourselves, because people who don't know what they're doing, like they have no idea what video production is, are writing these definitions, and we're not stepping up to correct them. So that's on us. Us as in the media realm. So yeah, basically, I want to be a technical director. But again, subject to change because clearly I can't pick something that I want to do. In my time at ACC, I have bumped heads with a lot of people. I've met a whole bunch of people. I have networked to where I think that I have a solid group of people who I can rely on. But most importantly, I have 2 professors that have really molded the way that I am now and have helped me spread my wings and finally take flight. The first one is my announcing professor, Jack, And the second one is my podcasting professor, Chris. Jack has totally changed my life in the way that he has invited me into the industry. I work with him now downtown Austin at Austin City Limits. That is one hell of a freaking job. Like, I'm not anything important there, but the fact that I work there is going to speak volumes on a resume. Like, it is just so cool to be in the industry. Like, I am there seeing famous people, seeing technical directors do their work, seeing directors. I'm meeting the people who are front of house, back of house. I just meet so many new people all the time. Like, I am getting to understand the culture, and the only way that I have been able to do that is through my professor Jack, who gave me a chance. So I'm very thankful to him for that. Chris is actually still my professor right now. He is teaching my class how to do vodcasting, which I will eventually do. I'm in the process of. So once I'm done with that class, we will get a vodcast out. But the only reason that I even do this podcast is because he showed me how to. Basically, he has built this podcast. I'm just here for the entertainment purposes. So without him, there would be none of this. So I'm very thankful for that. Another important person in my media career is my friend Ever, who is the studio manager at Dawa Studios here in Austin. He's given me the opportunity to use my skills at South by Southwest and at Dawa Studios. Of course, there are other important people in my career, like my family, my friends, and my supporters. And I couldn't be anywhere where I am right now without them, so I'm thankful for them as well. So, what are my plans for the future? I don't want to spoil stuff, but I already said, like, I'm taking a vodcasting class right now with Chris. And honestly, I am really excited to utilize those skills because I have been doing a lot of thinking about my end goal, and I really think that I would like to have a talk show. I would like to have a talk show like this one I'm having right now and talk about the random shit that I think is important and people listen and find it entertaining. But I do it on my own agenda and in my own way. That is the goal. Because like me doing this right now, it doesn't feel like work. This is something that I enjoy doing. This is something that I like to spend my free time on, and I oftentimes, rather than not, spend my work time on this because I enjoy it so much. So yeah, the goal is to have a talk show, and right now, like I said, I'm in the vodcasting class, so I'm transforming the room that I'm in right now into a set that I will eventually make a talk show. I mean, I say talk show, but it's basically a video podcast. Like, I don't know what the difference is, but I want to say that I want a talk show. I'm sorry, I'm partying with you yet again, but I will be back. Alrighty, that is going to do it for today's episode. I wish I could sit here and talk to everyone for hours on end because I've got a hell of a lot more to say. But I think that you have had enough of me talking about my opinions. It's now time to form some of your own. Before I forget, I made an Instagram for the podcast. After I hit 100 plays, that was a goal that I had that I didn't announce, but I wanted to be sure that I had a separate Instagram to make sure that I wasn't annoying people who just liked my regular posts but didn't want to listen to me ramble. Like the special people you guys are that like to listen to me. So yeah, I made a new Instagram for the podcast. It is Kicking It with Caitlin, but it is spelled KICKINITW.KATELYN. So it's basically Kicking It with Caitlin, but instead of the slash, it is a period. I couldn't do it without the period because some other girl already has that handle. I messaged her and asked her to buy it from her, but she didn't answer. So this is what we're sticking with for now, but we'll see. So when you do decide to follow the new Instagram, I will be posting behind the scenes of current podcast, and I will be showing the progression of me making this set. I think I also want to do early releases on topics that I'll be talking about on the next podcast to see if you're going to want to tune in or not. So I would definitely go ahead and take a look at the new Instagram, and while you're there, you might as well follow since you're already there. Again, the handle is Kicking It with Caitlin, but instead of a slash, it's a dot. Remember, new episodes drop every other Thursday at 8 a.m. Central Time. I'll see you not next Thursday, but the Thursday after. Bye!